For quite some time now, I've been using this LED light when I'm shooting outdoors for my YouTube videos, as it has quite a good output at a very amazing and affordable price. Until I chanced upon Ulanzi's website, which they have a new light that has 10 times the output of a light this size. As I have a good relationship with Ulanzi, I've decided to write in to perhaps ask them to send me one for review, which they did. This is the P40 portable light from Ulanzi. Let's do an initial comparison. This is the light at 50%, and this is the light also at 50%. Crazy, isn't it? That's why in this video, we're going in depth into this light and especially do an outdoor and indoor test to see why you might not need this light but certainly want it. Before we go into the details of the light, I'm happy to share with you guys that I finally upgraded my B camera with the new A7CII. Let me just show you guys. So here we have the A7CII, which I featured in my previous videos, finally mounted as a B camera. And we obviously have a light to be able to complement this angle. So let's go into the physical details of this light and show you what it's all made up of, especially with the buttons and all its physical features. So the light over here, you can see features 135 LED lights. And in its details, you can see that they are orange and as well as cool daylight and cool white lights. So this will be the front, and at the back, which are more interesting features. Okay, let me just on another light too. So this light, you can see that there are actually a lot of LED light bulbs. So turning to the back are the more interesting elements. So let's just on it. So the button is actually at the side over here, the on button. So like most Ulanzi products, if you on it, you will need to just switch this on first. Alright, it's really strong, so let's just decrease it to the smallest increment. So as you can see, once I turn it, the number here decreases, and let's go all the way to 2%, right, 1%. So I think this light is really good because once it says 1%, it really goes to 1%. Other lights, when they say 1%, it's nearly not visible at all. So as we go into in depth, you can see that there are buttons over here. Okay, buttons over here. This one would be for the color temperature. Once I adjust it, you can see the color temperature changes. Obviously, you can double click it to be able to change to different modes. You can see over my hand, the color changes. But we'll go into in-depth later on. So let's just go to 560, okay, around there. So below is actually the dim button to be able to increase the power of the output. At the very center over here is where the fan is. Now, I don't know if you can hear the fan. Let's just increase the power so that you can be able to hear the fan. So when we increase it, you can hear the fan much louder. It actually increases the power of the fan as you increase the output, which is really neck to neck. A lot of the other lights that I have, once you increase the fan only has a particular increment and does not gradually goes with the output. So let's just reduce it back to normal first. Now at the side here, you have these other features. Okay, at the side here, you have all the Chinese wordings and all of this ventilation over here. Now this light also has ventilation at the top. Okay, let's just switch this off. Over here, you can see that there are a lot of holes for ventilation at the top and at the bottom over here. Now at the bottom, you'll be able to see a 1/4-inch screw, and at the side, another 1/4-inch screw. You also notice that this side is thicker than the other side over here, which has a USB-C input for you to charge it up. Now you'll be able to notice that this light by itself seems quite harsh. So you will need a diffuser, which it actually comes with. This is the diffuser, which actually comes with the light. Now taking a closer look at this diffuser over here, this diffuser is quite simple, but at the back, you'll be able to see all of these magnets that is at the side. So just let me show you how effective this filter is. So by default, okay, let's increase it to 20%, which is more than enough to prove our point. So this light itself is already slightly softer, but it's still a little hard. So what you want to do is just to use this light and attach it at the front over here. Ta-da! So you can see now it's a lot softer. Seeing that the key selling point of this light is its power, let's test off the light and do an indoor test by using this as the main key light. Okay, I have another backlight over here, but we'll just leave it on because it's a little troublesome to adjust the settings for that. Okay, we're using this Ulanzi tripod, which I've always used. Right, so let's go all the way up. So here we have the light at 100%. So just let me show you the setup. So here we have the light over here. And you'll be able to hear the sound of the fan over here, which is quite noticeable. So as the key light, it still isn't very diffuse for the light. So I'll use something like this, which is a 2-in-1, 5 or 3-in-1 reflector, which we will just take off the layer. And we can just place it over here. And as you can see, it actually makes the light a lot softer. Now obviously more layers of diffusion will make this light a lot more better as the key light. But just take note that the power of this is really sufficient to really light you up if ever your key light fails on you. In comparison with the light that I've always used, which is this, let's just go all the way to 100%. For the light that I always go to, they have this diffuser, which is this little casing which you can slot it in. So that was 100%, and this light's 100%. So as you can see, it's a very stark difference. Now it's because of the output that these two has. For the fact, this has an output of 1200 lumens, while these have a 14,000 power output lumens. 14,000 lumens of output. Obviously, we aren't only using the lights indoors, we are using it outdoors. So I recently went out to do a test in the night using both of these lights, and let's see how they fare. Hi guys, so now we are outdoors, we're going to do a test, and now you can see in my hands, I'm holding the Ulanzi light, and it's only at 1%. Okay, you can look up close. Okay, it's literally at 1%. So this is the light at 1%, and we're going to increase it. Okay, and this is the light at 50%. You can see that my background is now completely blurred out. So let's go all the way to 100%. Okay, here you are at 100%. Okay, 100%. You can see it's like really strong. So let's off this. And let's switch to the light that I've always used. Okay, let's start this light at its lowest. Okay, its lowest, I don't think can go to 1%. So this is at 14%. 14%. So 14% you can see is rather weak. Let's go up to 50%. Here we are at 50%. Okay, so 50% is rather decent. I can work around with this, but let's push it a little bit more. Alright, so we are at 100%. So this is the 100%. So let's compare this 100% with the Ulanzi's 100%. Okay, so this is my normal light, the one that I always use. And this is the Ulanzi's. And this is the Ulanzi's light. Normal light, Ulanzi's 40-watt power light. So if you were to shine it right over here, you can see how much more different it is. So I would say this light is extremely overkill. Okay, overkill in a good way that is really strong and that it can really illuminate the area if you need it to. But most of the time, I would say 10% should be more than fine. So let's try to walk around with this light. So by the way, this is my setup. So let's mount the light on top. Okay, I'm screwing it in. Okay, and there you go. Okay, I know it's really hard to see. Alright, so now let's walk around with it. Okay, the ISO now is set to about 2000 ISO. Okay, I can't set it any lower because if not, the background can't be seen and I want to have a good contrast. We are going to walk into a slightly darker area and just note that the light is now only at 1%. Okay, and as we walk in and turn around, alright, let's increase the power of the light. 10%, and let's increase it even more. Okay, let's max it all the way and I'm going to just put down my lowest ISO and hopefully the darkest setting. Alright, so we are currently now at ISO 100, literally 100. And you can see it's still really strong. Okay, let's push the power of the light all the way. And now this is at 100%. Okay, it's super glaring. It's hard for me to even see the light itself. But you can guess it's really, really strong. As you can already tell, the outputs of this light and this new Ulanzi light is quite conclusive. Let's just run down some of the 20 different modes that this light has. Now obviously the modes aren't something really special in the industry, but just to show you guys what this thing has in case you ever need to use one of these modes. So let me show you how to access these different modes. So once we on it, we can just toggle the light at the side over here. So from here, we'll press this button over here and hold it. And here we have the different eco modes which we're able to help you to change the particular temperature of the light. But we're going to click it one more time to access all of these scenes over here. So you can see over here there are different scenes which you can just flick it. So here we have is the first one. So you can see, we will be going in depth into all of it. Basically, it has 10, 20 different modes. Now, before I go into the downsides of what this light might present, let's nerd out on some specifications. Its length measures at 15.8 cm or 6.22 inches. As for its height, it measures at 8.6 cm or 3.38 inches. As for its depth, it measures at 2.4 cm or 0.95 inches. Now if you have to add the casing, it will further increase another cm over here. As for its weight, how heavy this is, this measures at 408 grams or 0.9 pounds, which I do admit is quite a little heavier compared with normal lights. But we have to take note that this has an inbuilt fan and has a much more powerful output. As for the battery capacity of the light, it has 5000 mAh, which gets you about 1.5 hours of non-stop usage at 50%. Now obviously if you go higher, the output would be much more and you use it for a lesser period of time. But as you can see from the indoor and outdoor tests, you will almost never need to go to 100%. As for charging this thing up, it also takes about 1.5 hours to have it fully charged. Almost forgetting talking about its materials. So this material of the light, you can see it's really well made. At the side, you can see that it's covered by this layer of plastic. And it's really well made. At the top, at the sides, it's made of plastic, but those really well made kind. Including at the back. So the quality of this light is by no means low quality or cheap. Now if you were to ask me what are the downsides of this light, I would say there are two. Number one would be its size and weight. Now comparing this with my current light is really thin and small. As you can see, there is a thickness difference. Okay, as you can see, it's almost 15% as thin. And this only weighs about 220 grams, while this weighs 408 grams. So for those who are looking for something light and small, this form factor might be considerable. Number two is the diffuser for this light. Now this light has this magnetic diffuser, which is great, but if you ever to rub or accidentally hit it, you can see it falls off rather easily. I just wish that they have a lock or something to be able to keep the diffuser on this light slightly more permanent. Is the diffuser on my current light that good? It's just a rubber casing that puts on it. So I would say it isn't also that ideal if you ever want to keep this form factor small. I'll prefer something in between, small locks at the side, to prevent this from falling out. We should make this design a lot better. Now something which I wish they could have included in this light is reverse charging. Meaning it could probably charge up your mobile phones or other electronic devices on the go. If they have it with this light, I think it will be brilliant. So let's conclude. This light will probably be the most powerful 40-watt light of this size out there. If you ever need a temporary replacement for your key light, this will be a very good option due to its output and the fan which cools it for using long periods of time. Are you guys impressed with this light, and will you be getting one? I'm curious. Let me know down in the comments below. If not, see you guys in the next video.